Hi, Stacy. Welcome. Aloha. There we go. Welcome, Stacy. How you doing? I'm doing great. I'm Steve. Oh, there they are. Now, if you would be so kind as to hold the goggles in place once he puts them on your face, you'll pull the straps over everything, Stacy, and that holds your headsets on and everything. And David jumping on board right next to you. Hey, looks like I got a family on board. Fantastic. I love family flights. Welcome, Barbara. How you doing? I'm Steve. Nice to meet you, Barbara. Welcome, David. Steve, nice to meet you. Now, if you hold the goggles in place over your face for a second, David, what he's going to do is pull the straps over your headsets. That holds them all in place. Now, Stacy, you're in the co-pilot seat. If you might want to stretch out your legs a little bit, you'll find that I'll be working with some controls right in this little area right down there. All right. Welcome, Nick. Hi, I'm Steve. Nice to meet you. Pia's going to jump on board here shortly. Hey, Pia's a Hawaiian name. Is she from the islands at all? Oh, no kidding. Fantastic. Yeah. Awesome. I know everyone's had a safety briefing, so that'll quicken the pace to get off the ground. Awesome. Welcome, Pia. If you hold the goggles on, he's going to pull the straps over, the headsets and everything there. Perfect. Everyone should be able to hear my voice. Pia and Chuck, you're in the wind seats on either end back there, so you'll catch most of the airflow. We do throw in a free hairdo with every flight, so you'll come back with a whole new look. And I know you've all had the safety briefing. I just like to add, with doors off, we have a good wind stream going past us. In a car at 60, you put your arm out the window, it'll move your arm back pretty quick. In a helicopter, you'll dislocate your shoulder. If you try to stick a leg out, you could pull it right out of joint. So we don't want to stick any limbs out there into that flow of air while we're in forward flight. And until we come back and land, and then that's okay. Also, you have on lanyards your cell phone. We don't want to stick those out because they can come back at warp factor 3 right back into you. So best to kind of back off from the airport to take pictures. You'll get better pictures that way anyway. And when you see my mouth move and don't hear me, that's me talking to air traffic controllers and other helicopters. All right, let's go for it. I'm letting you listen in a little bit.
Takeoff by Kona Harbor departure.
All right, we're clear for takeoff. Let's go fly. my wife in the brown car right there. We have 4 children, 12 grandchildren, 3 great-granddaughters, a great-grandson about to be born. And 2 of our great-granddaughters graduated yesterday. That was fun. And just like that, we reach our initial cruising altitude. I guess I can open my eyes now. No using the Force, Steve. It only works in Star Wars. And we reach our initial cruising altitude. I guess I can open my eyes now. As we're climbing up, you can see the harbor over here. The Willy Willy's named for the Willy Willy tree, or false sandalwood tree, once grew abundantly here. If you're looking for a couple great places to eat on this side, that large building right on the cliffs is Timbers, where you'll find a restaurant called Hualani's. The food is off the charts. It is so good. And the view. While dining here, you look across infinity pools to the ocean. It is gorgeous. Another is Duke's to the right of the Marriott, where you'll find a restaurant named for Duke Anamoku. Gold medal Olympic swimmer. He's the one who got the whole surfing thing started. And if you have Prime Video, there's a new movie out called The Watermen. It's the true story of Duke Anamoku. One of my favorite stories about Duke is when they were hosting practice here for the Olympic team. Duke was the one that was hosting it, and the coach had a hopeful for a gold medal. So he decided he was just going to give him some practice and put him up against Duke. And Duke beat him by 5 body lengths, the most hopeful. Guess who won the gold medal in the Olympics? Yeah, that coach immediately put him on the team. And you can see the Keep Your Stream down below. That might look familiar. If you saw Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Remember Harrison Ford running out of the woods being chased, telling the pilot of the seaplane, "Jock, start the engines." That was filmed at the Keep Your Stream down below. Harrison Ford loves Kauai. He also shot the movie here, 6 Days and 7 Nights. And when you see the ridge dip down ahead, you'll see to the left the beach. Most of 6 Days and 7 Nights was filmed on it. How's everyone doing so far? Getting used to the feel of the helicopter? Alright, there you can see the beach come into view. On the Kupu Ranch down below, they have ATV rides, they have zip lines. Here, Nick, if you look down to the right here, you'll see a tower with a couple cables on it. That zip line is the longest, fastest zip line to ride in Hawaii. You get up to 60 miles an hour for up to a minute and a half. Suspended in a harness, face forward, arms out, flying like Superman. I actually heard the longest continuous high-pitched scream that I've ever heard coming from that zip line. It was me. A little more excitement than I was anticipating. Even had a Arabian princess come to Kauai specifically to ride that zip line. And so I was tasked to take her, Sakanaya, from the jet by helicopter directly to the base of that Shia did the zip line, came back down, jumped back in the helicopter, took her back to the jet. Yeah. Must be rough. And on the shore, Poitras. Anyone taking a drive over there? Yeah, the Grand Hyatt's there, the Sheraton, Brennick's, Hula Grill, Spouting Horn. One thing you miss driving that way is the Waita Reservoir. The Y is Hawaiian for water. Ta is Japanese for rice. That was built as a rice paddy for workers from Japan working at Toloa Sugar Mill. Built back in 1831, that was the first sugar mill in Hawaii. And if you look around at all the grassy fields everywhere, that was all sugar cane at one time. And the tunnel of trees down below, the tunnel of eucalyptus, planted by Valdemar Knudsen in 1863. Eucalyptus comes from Australia. We have a much more popular tree from Australia, the macadamia nut tree. Anyone like macadamia nuts? Did you know that macadamia nuts are 80 calories per nut before the chocolate goes on top? It makes for quick math. You got 10 mac nuts in your hand, that's 800 calories. Alright, now the good news. They're good calories. Macadamia nuts contain palmitoleic acid, which increases metabolism to a point you burn off more calories than you take in. Yeah, eat all the mac nuts you like. They're good for you. Of course, if you're watching TV at home later, and you see this infomercial saying, eat mac nuts and lose weight. The new mac nut diet, developed by a pilot flying helicopter tours on Kauai. Yeah. Hey, if they can sell pet rocks, I can sell mac nuts. Over to your left on the shore, if you drive towards Port Allen, you notice a big golf ball on the tower over there? To the right of it, cluster of buildings, that's the Kauai Coffee Company. That's all coffee growing down there. They have an excellent tour, very generous with their free samples. You will not sleep for days visiting that place. Even the cookies have coffee in it. Much to the surprise of parents who tell their children, oh no, you're too young for those coffee samples. Here, have some cookies instead. Instantly turning their children into the Flash. Caffeine and sugar, great combination. There you can see the Alexander Reservoir. That's an agricultural reservoir to irrigate all the coffee growing down there. And Kauai Coffee is giving Kona Coffee a real run for the money. Now we take a trip to Hanapepe. And welcome to the Manawai-Puna Falls. Let me know if you see the T-Rex or Velociraptors. Now in Jurassic Park, when you see the helicopter landing, it's landing in front of a green screen in front of the hangar. And put together with special effects, but you might see the T-Rex and Velociraptors, those are real. We're getting closer to that, by the way. Scientists have announced they have a viable woolly mammoth embryo ready to go. Timeshare, everybody gets a view. and our Kahili Falls ahead. Can you imagine exchanging or renewing wedding vows in a helicopter in front of a waterfall? Just so happens, I'm also licensed to perform aerial weddings and renew vows for couples in places like this. And what couples like, of course, it is beautiful, but they know they're coming back married. Only two choices, I do or Geronimo. More pressure. I've yet to see cold feet. I've seen cold sweat. You ever hear of a show on TV called The Bachelorette? I was once flying Jillian and Reed around Maui for the finale episode. I spent the entire day with that couple and saw absolutely no reality whatsoever. They didn't even talk to each other unless the camera was on. Oh, and here's a shocker for everybody. They were being told what they were going to say before they said it. Isn't reality supposed to be part of the deal? So I added some. I went by a waterfall, turned and mentioned, "Oh, by the way, I can perform an aerial wedding." Reed froze up like a deer in the headlights. Thought he was getting hit. Turned out no. He was getting ditched shortly after landing. Somehow that never aired. That was all cut out. With one other thing, my laughter. I could not stop laughing after that. The look of sheer terror on Reed's face at the thought of getting married. I thought, well, that's probably the only reality in the show right there. Any honeymooners on board? Anniversary? All right. All those in love, raise your hand. Now you can narrow it down. Keep that in mind. In-flight hugging and kissing's allowed. No pressure. No pressure. Nobody knew they were signing up for some romance today, did they? All of a sudden, we're going to end up in a desert. Cactus growing everywhere, scorpions crawling across the dirt, less than 12 inches of annual rain. And within 10 miles, Mount Waialeale gets up to 500 inches of annual rain. You really can pick and choose your favorite climate here. All you need to know is the wind direction. Windward sides are wet, leeward sides are dry, and that does work on all the islands, but to a much more extent on Kauai because it's the only island where the main volcano is in the direct center. So air has more of a gradual push that creates what's called adiabatic cooling, and it cools the air to dew point right in the center of Kauai, where it condenses all the moisture out. Then the air becomes dehumidified coming over this way. And on the shore of the river in town, Waimea, that's where Captain James Cook became the first Westerner to set foot on Hawaiian soil, January 16, 1778. There was a coincidence. When Captain Cook arrived, at the exact same time Hawaiians were celebrating Makahiki, where they'd take big square pieces of tapa cloth, attach it to wooden poles, and parade clockwise around the shore, announcing the coming of Lono from the sea. Well, they look up and here comes two ships, Discovery and Resolution, both clockwise around the shore of Kauai, with big square sails on their wooden mast poles. Hawaiians thought Captain Cook was Lono. It didn't last. 1 year, 1 month later, he's on the big island at Keala Kekua Bay. He gets into a fight, cuts himself, and the moment they saw this, they knew he couldn't be Lono, so they killed him on the spot. He died February 14, 1779. Valentine's Day for us, bad day for Captain Cook. Now I'll make a nice little panoramic turn here for you. Isn't this beautiful? a gorgeous morning over here. In 1866, somebody quite famous was on the back of a horse on this ridge straight ahead looking our way. Samuel Clement, better known as Mark Twain. He was inspired by the red water created by all the red dirt turning the water red to the shore, and would write, "I now know a place where the smell of the flowers blow across the sea. And though I might sit over 1,000 miles away, I can never forget this beautiful place where waters deep and red still stir my imagination." Stirring anyone's imagination? There's a nicely paved road that comes around here. Canyon Drive. There we go from our desert canyon right into a eucalyptus rainforest. That didn't take long. On the shore, the Pacific Missile Range facility, barking fans. My son's a fireman down here. Good job, good benefits. He also owns a CrossFit gym and stays in excellent shape. It's just convenient, too. Whenever I need to work out, it's only a phone call. Hey, son, can you work out for me again today? Great, thanks. Yeah, about as close as I get to CrossFit. I don't need exercise anymore. Well, I had enough when I first got to Hawaii. I was working out at the Honolulu Club over on Oahu. Someone walked up and said, "How would you like to be on television?" I thought it was a joke. I said, "Well, sure." The next 4 years, I'm on ESPN as a member of Basic Training, the aerobic workout with Otta Janklowitz. And then her brother's show, Galad, Bodies in Motion, Body Sculpting with Galad. Yeah, so I have all the exercise. I've banked it all. So, later in life, all I got to do is watch reruns. Although my wife recently has taken some of the fun out of that. As I'm looking at the rerun, she'll point and say, "Hey, look, remember when you had hair? Oh, look at that. You were skinny back then." Click. Yeah, that's about it. Port Holly Beach to your left is as far as you go driving around here. There are no roads going all the way around. The island Niihau is 17 miles offshore to the left. Privately owned by the Robinson family, who are descendants of Elizabeth Sinclair. Elizabeth bought Niihau from Kamehameha III back in 1864 for $10,000 gold. Now, buying an island's a little more expensive. Larry Ellison bought Lanai from Rupert Murdoch for $350 million. Yikes. It was in the tracking station where they track missiles they launched. A few days ago, remember Elon Musk launching his new rocket? You know where it was supposed to, the Starship was supposed to splash down here to our left. So the tracking station would get all the sensor and telemetry data recordings. I got up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I wanted to hear the sonic boom, maybe even see the reentry burn. Instead, I got to watch the world's largest Roman candle. By 2050, he wants to put 1 million people on Mars. My wife already signed me up for the first flight. Isn't she sweet? She told me it was the perfect place for me while holding up a book that said right on the cover, "Men are from Mars." And welcome for another scenery change as we go around the beautiful Nepali coast. Nepali means the cliffs. we'll take a look at this. Just another day here in paradise.
Just another day here in paradise, where everybody is feeling awesome nice. Just another day.
Just another day here in paradise.
Another day
You can instantly see why they use this as a backdrop for scenes in Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. When they filmed Jurassic World here, my daughter took Chris Pratt hunting on the island. Yeah, I found out he was discovered on Oahu working as a waiter at Bubba Gump's. There's hope for all of us. And Honopu means turtle head. You'll see it looks like a turtle sticking its head out of his shell. There's an archway under the neck of the turtle head. And if you saw King Kong, starring Jessica Lange and Jeff Bridges, they walk through the archway together in the movie. Now, if you wanted to hike this far, your car would be 11 miles straight ahead. How about a 22-mile hike? Anyone up for that? Yeah, me neither. But there's another option. As you're going around Waimea Canyon, if you stay on the road going around all the way till it ends, you'll end up in the back of this large valley up on top at a beautiful lookout point, the Kalala Lookout. No hiking required for a view. But if you do go hiking, you don't want to go swimming. We have the strongest rip currents in Hawaii here. People have been rescued as far as 1.5 miles offshore. Yeah, you've probably been told about rip currents are easy to swim out of. If you pull out on a beach, just swim parallel until you're out of the rip current, and then swim back. Not so on the Pali coast. You'll swim right into the next rip current, and then you'll go to the next rip current, and then you'll go to the next rip current. That's why people have been rescued as far as 1.5 miles offshore. The only ones that have a testimony of how they survived is the ones that got someone's attention as they're being pulled out right away. If you don't do that, well, plan on seeing Alaska. And with the sun reflection, you might start to see the rip currents, see them moving away from the shoreline. Anyone been to Maui? Here today, gone to Maui. Did you visit the Maui Ocean Center? There's a new exhibit called the Whale Dome. Now, right now it's the end of whale season, but you can still see whales if you go to the Whale Dome over there on Maui's Ocean Center. You put 3D glasses on and you are virtually in the water with 40-ton whales swimming around you. Doesn't that sound like fun? It's educational, too. I found out something I didn't know. They said that if you were actually that close to whales underwater and they begin to sing, the sound waves will instantly knock a human unconscious. I didn't know they could do that. Now we can see all these points on the ridge ahead. The point at the very end might look a bit familiar. If you like musicals. That's the Bali High from the South Pacific, filmed in 1956. Close tide, you can see the coral sticking through the ocean. And K Beach, this is as far as you drive on this side. But it's a nice swimming cove. The coral blocks the waves, and there's a lifeguard on duty. Never go in the ocean out here without seeing a lifeguard. The other rule is never go in the water if it's cloudy. If you look down beneath us, you can actually see to the bottom. And the difference between the light and dark color is the difference between coral and coral sand. The coral sand is being manufactured by parrotfish that vigorously chomp away on coral 24/7, digesting it into little pebbles at an amazing rate of speed. In 1 year, one parrotfish can produce about 1 ton of coral sand. Next time you're basking in the sun, laying on a beautiful Hawaiian beach, now you know. You're laying in fish poo, which is stale and clean, just way too much information. But when the ocean currents on the North Shore churn up the bottom, the water gets cloudy with coral sand. You ever see the movie Soul Surfer? This is where Bethany Hamilton lost her arm to a shark in cloudy water on the North Shore of Kauai. Sharks have electric sensors around their mouth, detecting electric impulse given off between muscle and brain. As far as they're concerned, a human swimming in cloudy water is amongst seals who proven otherwise. If you're on a surfboard or bodyboard, well, now you're a sea turtle until proven otherwise. How do they prove otherwise? Chomp. Most shark attacks are taste tests. And straight ahead, you can see a point in the distance stick out with a little island in front. That's the Kilauea Lighthouse. That's a bird sanctuary. You'll find lacing albatross, frigate birds with 7-foot wingspan, wedge-tailed shearwaters, white-tailed tropic birds. The lacing albatross have been tracked flying from Kilauea around planet Earth back to Kilauea in 2.5 months. Some don't even touch land for 3 to 5 years. They get all the water and nutrients from fish they catch, and they hardly exert any energy at all when they're in flight. They can even sleep while flying. Well, they put half their brain asleep, the other half is alert, and then they swap back and forth to get all the rest. I can sleep while flying, want to see? No thanks, Steve, we're going to pass on that. Down below us, Umahai Beach, where Misty Gaynor was going to wash that man or not over here. And the Hanalei Bay to your left. Hana means place. Hanalei, the place shaped like a flowered lei. And growing around Hanalei, what looks like rice paddies is taro. It's a starch like a potato, which they boil and pound down into poi. Anyone sample some delicious poi? You can always hang wallpaper with it. Mix it with pancake batter makes a delicious pancake though. And instead of maple syrup on top, lily koi syrup, and you will never want a regular pancake ever again. There's also a bison ranch over here. And during a flood we had, back in 2016, some of the bison escaped. They have not all been recovered, which is why you're not going to see me hike anywhere out here. Imagine running into a 1,500-pound bison who thinks you're trying to take it back to that ranch. It's going to put up a fight. And we can see all the budding trees that look like broccoli. Albizia. People make the mistake of thinking albizia is a good shade tree. Just because it looks like umbrellas doesn't make it a good shade tree. These trees grow so fast they don't grow very strong and have been known to drop branches on people weighing 200 to 500 pounds with no advance warning. Just snap right down on top of you. You'll actually see some of the albizia in the first Jurassic Park film. Remember when they spot the first dinosaurs The Brachiosaurus gets up on its hind legs to pluck the leaves off the tree. That's an albizia. And Mountain Amolocama. That's the one you look up at if you're over here visiting Honolulu Bay. And we'll take a trip into the Honolulu Valley, which we're going to follow back to the source, Mount Waialeale. And you'll see the Honolulu River. We still got a good volume of water coming down from that rain yesterday. And along the way back here, you notice these trees with a bright green leaf that really stand out here. That's the state tree, kukui nut. I'm wearing kukui nut right now as a leg. Kukui means light or candle. And Hawaiians would burn the nut like a candle, plus the oil in the shell was the beauty product. It would keep hair shiny, skin smooth. It's fragrant, that would be perfume. It's also edible. I wouldn't recommend eating any. If you eat kukui nut, you will make an amazing discovery. But you just ate the world's strongest laxative. One nut, you're walking fast. 2 nuts, you break into a trot. By 3, you're setting a new land speed record to a guava tree. As it turns out, guava is the only known antidote for eating kukui nut in the wild. So, I think by design, wherever you find one of those trees, you'll always find the other within 100 yards. That's the 100-yard dash was invented here because of it. Our state flowers, the hibiscus, the state bird, the nini goose. And if you want to pronounce the state fish, start by taking a deep breath. That's the humuhumunukunuku apua'a. Small fish, big name. The faster you say it, the more impressive it gets. And as we look around, does anyone see anything here from Alaska? Actually, everywhere you look, you do. If you can see the ferns. They were brought here by migratory birds like the golden plover. They'll eat seeds from their Alaskan home, fly to Hawaiian land, and deposit seeds when they're dropping. Some come the other direction from New Zealand, Australia. There's over 100 different variety of ferns that can be accounted for this way. Isn't this beautiful? I love flying after a rain. It's just so much more beautiful with all the falls everywhere. There's no disappointing view. Now, a long time ago, once a year, Hawaiians climbed this ridge straight ahead and followed it to the top of the mountain. The first who ever made it found a pond up there where they saw the winds rippling the waters. Waialeale means the rippling waters. That's how it got its name. It is a treacherous climb, though. There are places on this ridge farther up, you could slip and drop 700 to 1,000 feet. You going to pass in that height? From here, we're going to head over to Mount Waialeale. Actually go inside the volcano. Ever been inside a volcano before? We're about to. You can see active lava flow if you go to the Big Island. The crater of Halemaumau is filling right now with lava, so it gives you a chance to see that. This is an extinct volcano. It will never erupt again. Not too far from the hot spot, a fissure opening to the mantle of the Earth, which is stationary, and the Pacific plate riding over it formed all the islands from the Big Island to the Curry Atoll. They were once all located where the Big Island is right now. And welcome to the crater of Mount Waialeale. (5,148 feet above sea level at the highest point. And 4,000-foot cliff walls, which cause an illusion. As we go inside the crater, we start to lose our peripheral view, and everything will suddenly feel much closer than it actually is. We're never closer to the walls than 300 feet. It just feels like it back here. And of course, the bragging rights later, to be able to say you kissed while in the crater. Yeah, there we go, see? Of course, I do capture all that on video. That way the video comes in handy. Anyone besides me ever say the wrong thing at the wrong time, and there's the couch? Here's the new plan. Grab a copy of the video and say, honey, let's watch that flight again with Steve. And discover you have a get-out-of-jail-free pass. You see how we stick together? I think I just heard Stacy say, wow, Steve's catching elbows before his flight's over with. Pia and Barbara are going to start cheering you on, too. We can't reach him back here. It's totally up to you, Stacy. And we can see the sleeping giant up ahead. You'll see a ridge with some clouds just about the elevation of the height. That begins the outline of the sleeping giant. That point in the middle is his forehead, which slopes left to his chin, left to his chest, down to the hips and the legs straight out. The legend is he ate too much poi, lay down to sleep it off. Been there ever since. Today we call it Hawaiian paralysis. And if you go to a luau, you get to experience that firsthand. The object at a luau is don't eat till you're full, eat till you pass out. And the green grassy fields ahead used to be sugarcane fields. Today this is mostly grazing area for cattle. Cows have a strange name here. Does anyone know what Hawaiians call cows? How about pee-pees? Because the first cows were longhorns, gifts to Kamehameha from George Vancouver, brought in 1793. Before then, pigs roamed the island. Hawaiians called pigs pua'a, and when they saw longhorns for the first time, they were called pua'a pipi auhau, pigs with big iron ears. Over time, slowly got reduced down to just pee-pee. And if you look straight ahead down below, you'll see peepees grazing. Cowboys, or paniolos, our first cowboys were Spanish-speaking vaqueros from Mexico. Hawaiians couldn't pronounce the word Espanol. There's no ES pronunciation. So they kept saying paniolo instead, and the name eventually stuck. It means cowboy to honor the vaqueros. And I always point this out because there's a very good chance during your visit you might bump into a paniolo and might ask him what he does here all day. Aren't you glad you won't be shocked when he tells you he chases his pee-pees around? That's a good moment to know he's talking about cows. Learning Hawaiian saves a lot of embarrassment. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson shot the movie Jungle Cruise in this pond over to our right. Most of the movie shot right here. The Rock is just the coolest guy in the world. When he wasn't shooting, he'd take his Raptor truck over to the road, which is the road to the Wailua Falls, And he'd just sit there smiling, giving a shock at people when they drive by. People totally freak out. And they'd stop, he'd sign autographs, take pictures with them, and I mean, just really nice guy. And the Wailua Falls coming up. Might look familiar, too. If you saw Fantasy Island, starring Ricardo Montalban, Hervé Valencia, in the opening scene, they'd always show the Wailua Falls. They'd show an airplane fly by, and Tattoo would look up and go, the plane. But that's the waterfall.
You know that I'm falling and I don't know what to say. I'll speak a little louder, I'll leave a shout. You know that I'm proud and I can get the words out.
Always sad to look up and start to see the Hui Airport getting closer. It does let us know we're on our way back to the place our journey began. Hawaiians have an expression. They say, "Wahala nakapuna ahe iki kole oriu, wala nako ke iala, imaneya ike awe, hopelelo iyo kikito." Translated, the ancestors of Hawaii have long since passed on. Today's people see only a glimpse of that time long ago and far behind. And I really enjoyed being the one to share a glimpse of that with you. I like to think everyone goes from friendship to family in one place. Look how fast my family grows. But please recommend Airkauai to family and friends traveling this way. The best advertising. And on Maui, we're there, Maui. And when you get home, you can say, we discovered we have a new relative we never met. His name's Steve. He's flying helicopters on Kauai. Poor guy's got a rough job. I may have thrown that last part in. Yeah, Louis Armstrong singing us back home. Good old Satchmo. He always does the best. You can see the Kauai Beach Resort down below. And Hanamalu Bay. You really don't want to go swim in Hanamalu Bay. The water's a bit polluted from the drainage from the community upslope from it. And we want to stay buckled up all the way till we land. After we touch down, the folks will come out, get everyone safely outside. You always want to exit the helicopter towards the front, never go behind it. The tail rotor spins so fast it's invisible.
What a wonderful world.
Everyone have a good time? Am I spoiled? Yeah, there's no doubt about that. The most difficult thing I have to do each day, convince my wife I had a rough day at the office. She's not buying it.
Of people going by, I see friends.
What do you think the odds are of landing a helicopter right when a song ends?
They're really saying, I love
Aloha, mahalo, ahui ho, malama pono. Please take care of yourselves until the next time we meet.
Still learn much more than I never knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Did we land yet? It's so hard to tell sometimes. And the ground crew's coming out to give us a hand. And if you want to pull the straps of the headsets off, that'll be great. I can get those out of your way. Alrighty.